All right, now we live.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube? This is your boy again, Whoop Worldwide. We're back again with another Hey You Guys podcast video. The podcast made for, created for by the average Joe. I'm here, your host once again, Whoop Worldwide. Today, we're only one man in today. My good friend Dale Spears decided to go solo today. Our young friend George is still taking a siesta on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. But otherwise, we have to go on the show. Dale, welcome to the show, man.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Going good. So today's topic, we're going to talk about the main part of this video. It's about the NBA free agency. This day 4 now, I think, right, Dale? The
Yeah.
NBA free agency, and there's been some big names been moved. There's some names that been staying home. We're going to go through each NBA free agent, go over
Right.
how we're going to grade the move by the team. If we didn't like the move, what alternative they could have went with, and do you think it was was the money right, or was it overpaid or underpaid? So let's go and get started. First person we're going to talk about is Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant re-signed with the Portland Trailblazers 5 years, $160 million. And I'm gonna start with you, Dale. Dale, do you think Jeremy Grant was overpaid or underpaid for 5 years?
I think he was overpaid because of the team's direction. Look where they're going. I mean, they just Damian Lillard just requested a trade, and I'm pretty sure we'll talk about him later. But as far as Jeremy Grant personally, I think they overpaid him. What it was, 3 years or 5 years, $160 million
That's a lot of
for a
money.
team that probably won't win no more than 35 games, if that. I mean, I understand you signed him to try to get Dame to stay, but
Mhm.
I feel like Dame kind of tricked Portland Trailblazers into signing him so he can get his friend paid. I mean, he probably told the Portland Trailblazers organization, "Hey man, if you pay Jeremy Grant and give me some other pieces, then I'll stay." They paid Jeremy Grant. They didn't really put any other pieces behind him
Right.
beside him, and he decided to request a trade. So I think they overpaid him. That's because of the fact that, like I said, they're not going to be winning uh, any games for the next 2 or 3 years, in my opinion. And to have somebody making that much money on a team that's not winning no games, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Um, I have to agree with you. I like Jeremy Grant. Very versatile scorer, could play defense. Got a solid mid range. Work has got better with his 3 point shot. I have to say since the OKC days, he's definitely
Yes,
have pretty much had a career year outside the 2021 season with the Pistons. But this is only the second time in his career he averaged 20 points in the season. He
yeah,
averaged 2.5, 5 boards, 3 assists in 36 minutes in 63 games. I believe him, Anthony Simons, and Scoot Henderson would probably be the big three they got there.
you
Uh,
got Shaden Sharp as well too.
no
Now
Shaden Sharp, yeah, you got Shaden Sharp there.
he's a
But
good player.
you're paying a guy who averaged 20 points a game twice, 32
In his
million for the
career,
next five
that's
years.
exactly. That's
That's
just
a lot of money. That's a big reach.
that's a
I
big reach. Kudos to him for
mean, he
getting
got
his
paid.
money.
All
He
about
got paid.
the paper. But
Yeah, he got paid. Kudos to him.
you're paying someone uh 32 million a year for the next 5 years, that means you're not trying to keep Dame. I
Yeah,
could
you're
use
not.
someone else probably better, but I mean he was the best person available for them. I mean, it's at home buy. I mean, get your paper, bro. But I
Yeah,
mean, he'll average 20 points a game. One of the time that was 2 years ago. But he was
right.
like more of a middle of the pack scorer. Anyway, he was never a go-to guy, except for that
Exactly.
in Detroit. So
In my opinion, he's not the second best player on the team. He's your third best player. Like
he might be the fourth now with Scoot on the team.
yeah. And what I'm saying is, for a team that's winning the championship, he's your third. He's your third
Yeah.
go-to guy.
He
And
reminds
you're
me
not paying your third go-to guy $32 million.
nah, you probably pay your first or second 32 million, but third or
Exactly.
fourth got 32 million.
That's
I
that's a
can't
lot
get
of money,
what Anthony Simons.
especially yeah, exactly. Especially for a team that's gonna star Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and Shaden Sharp. You know,
Right. Uh,
so
I
I
think
don't.
we both agree on that one. That's that was overbought. But congratulations to Jeremy Grant making 32 million for the next 5 years. He'll
Yeah,
be
for real.
34 years old when he becomes a free agent again. So I think that's probably the rest of his prime years will be down there in Portland unless he wants to be traded.
Yeah, and I'm glad for him. He got his. I mean, he's gotten paid before in Detroit, but Make your money, man. Like you said, make your money. You can't
Make
get mad at that.
you ain't 30 yet, so make your paper, bro.
Yeah, make your paper.
Next person we're going to talk about. This is the first player that made the first big splash of free agency. Fred VanVleet leaves the North to go down to Houston on a 3-year deal worth $128 million. That's $42 million
42 million a year. Yeah.
for 3 years. My question to you is this: what does this mean to the duo Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. now that Van Fleet's a Rocket? Let's talk about
Well,
that.
I don't know exactly what it means. I mean, Houston is. I feel like Houston's just trying to get some vets around their young guys like Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. So they bring in Dylan Brooks, who's in my opinion is a little immature, but Fred VanVleet, I do feel like they overpaid Fred
Oh
VanVleet
yeah,
because
42 million, my lord.
42. I mean, he's never averaged. I don't
But
think
who
he's
gets that?
averaged uh, fifty
He
percent from the field. I don't think he's averaged. Last year he didn't even shoot 50% from the field, 40% from three. So I don't understand why you pay somebody that can't even do that.
right. You
You
look at
know,
his stats from last year. He only averaged. He's in the same situation as Jeremy Grant. He only averaged over 20 points a game once, and that was 2021.
yeah,
So
exactly. A long time ago.
I mean, last year he only averaged 19 a game, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot under 40% from field last year, 39%.
Oh my goodness,
And then from the
that's
three, I think he shot 34%. So
yeah.
I
See,
mean,
that's not bad. That's horrible. You know, like
that's 42 million you're spending for a sub
yeah,
40 guy.
exactly. So I just don't. Maybe they're bringing him in here to have somebody to look up to. Have so Jaylen Brown and Kevin Porter Jr. can have and Jabari Smith can have somebody to look up to show them how to be a pro. With Ime Udoka there, I'm pretty sure um, he probably requested that that they get some vets around these young guys because
Right.
in my opinion, I just think they picked the wrong vet.
Yeah, I think for a person who shot 39% from the field, 34 from three,
From
that's
three,
not gonna get
you
the job
don't
done.
exactly. Isn't Jalen Green a point guard?
Jalen Green, I think, is a shooting guard. I think Kevin Porter is a point.
I know they traded Kenyon Martin. I want to say
Yeah,
wasn't
Cam
Kenyon.
Martin Jr., I think he's gone. But if you look at Jalen Green's stats of last year in his second year, he averaged 22 a game. So he is that.
No,
I mean,
he's a scorer now. He don't get me wrong, he's a scorer. But I feel like they brought these vets in as such as Fred VanVleet, I guess, to teach these young guys how to be pros. And I just think they got the wrong vets. In my opinion, Dylan Brooks is immature. Jeff Green is probably the only vet that actually can teach these guys how to be a pro. He's been in the game 12 plus years. So
I mean,
but
go ahead.
I'm happy for Fred VanVleet. He got his money. He got paid. He went from making 18, 19, $20 million a year to 42. Hey, to
Three
live
times.
in Houston with no state tax, like, hey man, make
Straight
your money. And up in Canada, their state tax is more expensive than New York's and California. So
right.
he getting his paper. And you
I
can't be
mean,
mad at that for a guy that's won a championship before, from going undrafted to winning a championship to getting paid 40 some million plus dollars for the next 3 years. Oh my goodness! I mean, congrats to him. But I still think this team needs a lot to improve on. They should have went after Brook Lopez, in my opinion. They should have went after actual vets. Like they should have went after actual vets. Jay Crowder. If they could have traded for Andre Drummond, good vets that can actually teach these guys how to become pros and how to win. You know, in my opinion, the only person they got was Jeff Green.
right.
And Fred VanVleet, like I said, he's won a finals, but that was years ago when he was uh, fourth or fifth. I think, wasn't he coming off the bench during
Yeah,
that finals run?
Kyle Lowry's backup.
Yeah, he was Kyle Lowry. He was coming off the bench. So, for a guy like you said that averaged 39% from the field and 34% from three, paying him $34 million. It's a
Yeah,
little crazy in my opinion, but with the new CBA and how everything works. You got to spend all the money before the season starts. So
Oh yeah. I want to talk about the duo of Green and Porter. You look at Green's numbers for last year. He averaged 22, 3, 4, and 4, shooting 42% for the field, 34 from three. And then
mhm.
KPJ, he averaged 19, 5, and 6, and he
Right,
shot 44% for the field and shot the best at all three, shooting 37% from three last year.
right.
So if I was, I think they might play. I don't know. I think they might move Jalen Green to six man. Probably. I think you should keep Kevin Porter out there. Bring like Jalen Green to be like a Tyler Hero role from like 2 years ago. He could
Right.
really bring points because you lost Eric Gordon to the
Yeah.
Suns. How about that? A
Yeah,
few
you
minutes.
lost him to the Suns.
So I think he's more of a versatile scoring option off the bench. I mean, the man averaged 22 points a game last year. He's not. He's not
Yeah,
gonna. He's not gonna fill the stat sheet with assists and rebounds, but he's gonna get you some
because
buckets.
he's a scorer. Yeah, he can get you some
Score.
buckets.
So
And
I
that could be the case. Like, I'm pretty sure Ime Udoka is coming in with a mindset of he wants to win. So you
right.
got Fred Van Fleet at point. You could put KPJ at the two, and you got Dylan Brooks. You know, and you're paying him $80 million, so he got to start.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, and Jalen Green could definitely come off the bench and score. I mean, because can't nobody guard him. I mean, for him to be a rookie and average 22,
Right.
like that was that his or not a rookie, but going his second year to average 22. That's great. You know, that's a great thing.
All
And
right.
for Kevin Porter Jr., I know you know how earlier he had his little setbacks with other teams and stuff like that,
Right.
and the Rockets took a flyer on him, and he did well, and they paid him. But a lot of people don't know this, but it's a lot of incentives in his contract.
Right.
So that's I feel like that's the reason he's doing well because he wants to get his money. At the end of the day, I feel like all these players want to get paid.
That's it. I
You
feel
know,
like if you just do the right thing, you get your paper. But
yeah, you get your paper.
throughout sports history, just couldn't get the job done by following the contract. So
Yeah,
hopefully he continues with his continue doing the right thing, and he'll definitely prosper. And see, not only as a great piece of that. Hopefully that Rocket team that turns around because they that was definitely busy this free agency so far.
yeah, they were busy. I mean, in my opinion, I still feel like they're a long ways away from winning anything. I think we'll see that this year and next year. I feel like they brought in the wrong guys. So I mean, I feel like
Time
I feel like they brought in the wrong guys. You know, so time
I,
will tell. Exactly, time will tell.
I think also, they'll be very more competitive this year than it was last year, this past season. Sure.
Yeah, they will be I know with the draft pick they got in Amon Thompson. They say he's really good. So
One of the Thompson twins, right?
yeah, one of the Thompson twins. They say he's really good. So we'll see how that goes. You know,
Udoka's a good coach, so hopefully he'll get that team prepared for the regular for the I want to see the guys at the summer league.
so
See
yeah,
how
summer league actually starts tomorrow. I mean,
so we'll definitely do another video probably probably next Sunday recapping
right?
the summer league and the big action also for free agency for
Yeah,
the rest of this week. Let's go ahead go to the next person. Kyrie Irving resigns with the Mavericks, which shocked me because I think just yesterday he was talking to the Lakers, Heat, Rockets, and Clippers about free agency, and now he did a 3-year deal. I believe it was worth 126 mil,
right.
42 million a year. I think Mark Cuban definitely wanted Kyrie to stay because I mean Luka has been hurt a lot last year, so I
Hmm.
think Kyrie would definitely fit in well. The question is who's going to play off ball between Kyrie and Luka. That's going to be the question. Can they build around Kyrie and Luka? That's the question. I think Dallas will be back in the playoffs again next year because Kyrie came in that towards the end of the season and they missed out. But I think Dallas will be a playoff team next year because Kyrie and Luka going to put up a lot of numbers.
Oh
But
yeah,
who's going to help that team get over the hump is the question.
yeah,
So
exactly. You're right. You're right. I don't I don't like none of these signings so far. I mean, I feel like they overpaid Kyrie because they weren't competing against nobody. Because I understand Kyrie said he was going to talk to all these other teams, but
right.
he re-signed what 30 minutes after the free agency opened up.
Yeah,
So it's like,
everybody knew he was going to stay in Dallas.
yeah, we all knew you were going to stay in Dallas. I feel like Dallas overpaid him because they were bidding against themselves. You know, I mean, if anybody wanted to offer him some money, they would have offered it to him, and nobody did. Like uh, I do feel like Kyrie and Luca are they're gonna have a whole off season to get that chemistry together,
Right.
and no matter what, Kyrie's still one of the best point guards in the league.
Oh yeah.
So
No matter
you
what.
gotta respect him for that. So Dallas still needs some pieces. They lost pieces, so in my opinion, they need some more big depth.
Yeah.
Because we know in playoff time when that
Big
court
boy game.
shrinks, it's a big boy game, so you need those bigs. But we'll see. Me personally, I think the clock is ticking on Luca. I mean, because
Yeah.
if this doesn't work out, Kyrie's locked in for the next two years. So it's like, okay, if they get bounced in the second round again, what does Luca think? Does he start saying to himself, "All right, man, Mark Cuban, you can't get this done for me. I want up out of here." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It happens all the time with these superstars. They get drafted by a team, and the team doesn't really want to build around them with the right pieces. And that superstar acts out. So if they don't do any winning, no, if they don't make a finals appearance in the next 3 or 4 years, I wouldn't be surprised if Luca said, "I want out of here," because I know Luca wants to win. You know,
Yeah.
and they made a huge mistake by not re-signing Jalen Brunson.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this whole Kyrie signing is just to replace Jalen Brunson, and yeah, man, I don't. We'll see what happens. Like you said earlier, time will tell.
Oh yeah.
Time will tell. So
I think the next person we're going to talk about, I think this is a good signing. I think he definitely deserved the paper. It's Cameron Johnson re-signed with Brooklyn 4 years, 108 million,
oh yeah,
27 per year. I think Cam Johnson deserves the money. It was a bad situation that he got traded out of Brooklyn for Kevin Durant because I think he was one of the him and Mikal Bridges was definitely a lone bright stars on that
oh
team.
yeah, oh yeah,
Not only from an offensive standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, those guys at their size, I mean, they brought tenacious ability to the game. The Suns definitely regret losing those guys in the trade. But Cam Johnson definitely deserves the money. I think this is a good signing by the Brooklyn Nets.
yeah. I think it's a great signing by the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, Cam Johnson is your prototypical NBA player, your NBA wing. He's what 6'9". You know, I think he shoots like 39% plus from the 3-point line. He plays good defense. Uh, he's a pro, you
Right.
know, and to pair him alongside Mikal Bridges, who averaged 20, I think it was like 22 when he got traded. Since he got traded over there to the Nets, that pairing is going to be special for years to come.
Oh yeah.
Cam Johnson deserves the money. I'm surprised he only got paid that 108 million. That's a lot of money, but I feel like he probably deserved a little more
Oh yeah.
because he's gonna be a not a star. He can be an all star in this league if he puts his mind to it. He can be a 3 and D guy and make a couple all star appearances.
I mean, you look at his numbers from last year. During this time, those 25 games with Brooklyn, he averaged 16 a game. Throughout the year, he had 15 and a half, 4 boards, and 2 assists. But he shot 47% from the field and 40% from three last year. So
Exactly.
he's at 6'8". I thought he was at least 6'10", but he could guard a 3 through the 5 if he really wanted.
Exactly. Yeah, he really can. He really
So
can.
I think him and Mikal Bridges could be the 3D brothers because those guys can really go out there and grit and grind. The only thing
Yep.
is, though, my question is Ben Simmons going to come up and show up because they're going to need Ben Simmons out there to facilitate their
They
game.
gonna need him. They gonna need him. It's been a couple years since he's left Philadelphia. Hopefully, he gets over it.
Me too.
Like
Ben
I
Simmons
mean,
he was a great generational talent.
a generational talent.
I mean, if he gets over his fear, I think it's a fear thing. I think Brooklyn could be a surprise playoff team next year.
They really can. They really can. I mean, I still feel like they need to add some pieces. They lost a lot of guys like Patty Mills and
Yeah, I heard about
some
him.
other players, but they need to build around those two. Maybe they didn't make any moves as of yet in free agency, but re-signing Cam Johnson. So hopefully we'll. I'm pretty sure they'll probably bring some vets around the team to teach those guys to learn how to win, learn what it's like to be a pro. So they can stay in the league. But
All right.
great signing by the Nets. So
All right, next person we're gonna talk about is one of your former Laker boys, Kyle Kuzma, got his bag today. 4 years, $102 million, $25 million. I mean, Kyle Kuzma has turned it on since leaving LA.
Oh yeah.
I really think if Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole could really turn it on next year, they may not be winning no championships, but they're gonna be a fun duo to watch next year.
Oh
You
yeah.
look,
Oh
you
yeah.
look at Kuzma's numbers from last year. Kuz averaged 21 for the first time in his career. Over the last 3 years, Kuzma went from 12.8 to 12.9 to 17 to 21.2 for the first time in his career. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and if you look at Kuzma's shooting percentages, Kuzma shot 50, shot 44%, 45% for the field last year. His 3-pointer got to be worked on. He should have 33%, but still, great season for Kuzma. He's top 30 scorer last year, and he was at the top 40 in rebounds. I'm ready to see how Kyle Kuzma turns on. Kuzma could be a low key all star like Cameron Johnson in this league if he just continues to put it all together going forward.
Yeah, he really can. I mean, him and Jordan Poole are going to be a great duo. They're going to score a lot of points. My only concern is as the Washington organization completely as a whole, right? So it's like they were in the middle of the pack this year. They didn't make the playoffs or the play-in. They got a horrible draft pick in the mid-teens. So it's like you're in the middle of the pack, and we all know in the NBA you don't want to be in the middle of the pack. You either want to be competing for a championship or trying to be the worst in the league so you can get a high draft pick. And it's like to me they got two guys that can average 20 plus, give you 20 plus each night. So they're going to put up some numbers and they're going to win some games. We'll just have to see what the team does as an organization. I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to put pieces around them and try to win games, or are they just going to have those two go out there and score 20 every night and be mediocre and have be a mediocre team? But Kyle Kuzma, he deserves the money. He, like you said, he averaged 21. He's a good player, a real good player.
So I got a gripe. The next person we're going to talk about is a person who I felt like got done injustice. And this man right here was really putting the Clippers on his back during that playoff run, despite losing to the Suns. Russell Westbrook,
Right.
I know he's 34. I say he's getting old, but the man literally was balling with the Clippers during that playoff run. He signed a 2-year deal worth $8 million. So how in the world? And I know age is gonna be a factor, but how's Dillon Brooks getting paid 4 years, 80, but Russell Westbrook getting paid 2 years, 8?
I have no clue, man. I mean, tax
I think it's an injustice in my eyes.
Go ahead.
I think it's an injustice in my eyes, to be honest. If you look at Russell Westbrook's stats, in the 21 games he played for the Clippers, he averaged 15.8, 4.9 rebounds, and still averaging almost 8 assists a game. We could continue look at his rest of his numbers. I mean, his numbers about the same as Dillon Brooks.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know.
I agree with you. I don't like the Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks wanted $12 million. This man get paid $20 million a year. Way overpaid, to be honest. So you look at Dillon Brooks' numbers. They're pretty pedestrian last year. Averaged 14 a game. The man shot 39% for the field, and he was barely 1% better than Russell Westbrook from three. Dillon Brooks was 32% from three. Russ was 31% from three.
Ooh.
So, I mean, ain't that much of a difference between Russ and Dillon Brooks. The stats you see, Russ was clearly more valuable than Dillon Brooks.
So, what I'll say is this about the whole Russell Westbrook and Dillon Brooks thing. I mean, their situations are different, right?
Right.
Houston had the most cap space to spend this whole free agency. And with the new CBA, you got to spend at least 90% before the season even starts. So Houston did everything damn near the first week of free agency and spent all their money on guys they thought they were good. In my opinion, the Clippers, they didn't have a lot in free agency, even though their owner doesn't mind spending money, Steve Ballmer. But looking at Russell Westbrook, you're right. I mean, he was the best player on their team going into the playoffs. I mean, by far none. I think as a Clippers, as an organization for the Clippers, they just need Kawhi Leonard and Paul George just to stay healthy until playoff time gets here. It's like every year during the playoffs, 10, 15 games before the playoffs, they're injured and they're out,
Right.
and it's every year.
It
And
is
you got to
sad.
give kudos to Russell Westbrook. During the playoffs, he put that team on his back,
Oh yeah.
and he did what he had to do. You can't fault him for that,
Oh no, I can't
He
blame Russ
fits
at all.
perfectly in that system. They need a point guard like him that's aggressive and that knows how to distribute the ball,
Right.
that can play defense,
Right.
and that plays all 82,
Right. I
So
go ahead.
I was just gonna say you got to be happy for him. He's still in the league. He's not making what he's used to making. But hey, he's still in the league these next 2 years. These probably be the last 2 years of his contract of his NBA career anyway.
Right.
So I'm happy for him. I'm ready to see what the Clippers do. As a Lakers fan, I don't want the Clippers to succeed, but hey,
Right. Of
you got to
course.
be happy for him. For Russell Westbrook, he's still out here putting up good numbers at 33, 34 years old,
Right.
however old he is, So
My next thing I want to talk about, we're gonna do a quick little rapid fire of some of these other players before we get to the bigger names. We're gonna talk about. I want you to give me a yay or nay when it comes to overpaid or underpaid. Um. Let's go to Dylan Brooks. Not Dylan Brooks. Yeah, Dylan Brooks. We both agree that's a nay. Overpaid.
nay, yeah.
Draymond Green, 4 years, 100 million. Overpaid or underpaid?
Uh, he's not. I don't think he's overpaid or underpaid. I think it's right at market value for him because
Right about value.
especially with him, being with the Warriors. If you put him on any other team and give him that same contract, I feel like he's overpaid. But him with the Warriors, with Steph and Clay, and them having that chemistry, that's right where he needs to be.
So you say right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Jakob Poeltl, 4 years, 80 million with the Raptors. I think he was overpaid, to be honest.
Yeah, they probably overpaid him a little bit. You probably could have gotten him for a little cheaper. Even though he's
Uh,
a good player.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, even though he's a good player, you still probably could have got him for a little cheaper than that.
Yeah, a little hometown discount. I think they're trying to make up for the Fred VanVleet loss, so I think they was trying to go ahead and give him his money since VanVleet gone. Max Strus, I'm gonna say he's overpaid. He's not worth 4 years, $63 million. He's not worth.
Yeah, he's overpaid in my opinion as well.
He's not worth $15.7 million a year. That's no. I think they're missing shooting in Cleveland. You got a good 3-and-D shooter. You overpaid him by Kutchima. I think he was worth about 30 million, 3 years, 30 in my eyes.
Yeah, same thing we gave Vincent. That's what I think.
Around the same market value, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Max Strus was definitely overpaid. Herb Jones for the Pelicans, 4 years, 56 million, 14 million per year. Overpaid or underpaid?
I feel like he's with the Draymond Green because Herb Jones is a great 3-and-D guy. So I would say underpaid because Herb Jones is really good.
So would you pay Herb Jones the Max Strus contract?
Yeah, I would give Herb Jones the Max Strus contract, or I would even give Herb Jones the 4 years, 100 mil.
Oh, you'll give the Draymond deal, okay?
Yeah, in my opinion, he's really, really good. I mean, there's a reason New Orleans. He was the first person in New Orleans signed when they re-signed.
Right.
He's really good. He's a good 3-and-D. He's long, got long arms. He's a good wing player.
I definitely say the next two players we're talking about, they're both Lakers. Y'all got steals on side of Hachimura and Reeves, both at around 50 million each. Hachimura 3 years, 51, 17 a year, and then Reeves 4 years, 56. But I thought y'all was gonna pay him 100 mil, but y'all got it for like 40 plus million cheap. So exactly. That's a good steal.
Yeah, and I want to be. I got a little something to say about my Lakers, right? So it was reported that I knew we were going to re-sign Rui. That was a no-brainer. He was going to sign with us because I feel like this system fits him perfectly. Playing alongside LeBron James and AD and with Austin Reeves. So Rui, that was a no-brainer bringing him back. The whole Austin Reeves situation. I'm glad we got him at the price we did. All the rumors out there were saying that we were going to match anything up to 100 mil, and rumors were out there saying that a team was probably going to pay him $100+ million or 120, whatever it was. And it
Yeah,
turned out that no team wanted to do that. So it's like, well, shoot, if
really.
no team wants to do that, we're gonna stick to what we offered you at 4 years, $56 million. And our first original offer to him was during the season was 4 years, 54 mil. But from what I heard is that we gave him every little incentive and every little add-on we could to make it like a early bird right max contract for him. So it's like and it's a player option at the fourth year of that deal. So it's really a 3 year deal, and the fourth year is a player option. And I'm pretty sure if he plays good enough those first 2-3 years, after that third year, he's going to decline at where we sign him to a max deal worth him, because paying him an average salary of like right at 14 mil, that's a steal compared to what he did for us last season. I mean, because
Right.
in my opinion, he's way better than 14 million. If he does what he does continuously for the next 3 years, that's probably a $30 million plus player per year. So
Right.
to pay him 14 mil, half that is that's great for a Lakers organization.
Oh yeah.
So
I really think also we're gonna go to the next person. Dante DiVincenzo, overpaid or underpaid? 4 years 50, 12.5 million per year.
uh, I'd say I'd say he's right where he needs to be. I mean,
Right
in
where
New
he needs to
York,
be as well.
because New York needs shooters.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to choose one, I'd say they probably overpaid him because they're so needy in the shooting position. They don't have any shooters, and Dante DiVincenzo, we all know he can shoot the ball. I don't know if he shot 40% from the field this
Right.
past season, but if I had to choose, they kind of overpaid him because they're desperate for shooters. Everybody thought Andre Barrett was going to try to turn into a shooter, which he's not. They
Well,
probably
we
need
all
to
know
trade
that.
him, and they don't really have any other really pure shooters. They have a lot of guys that can create their own,
Right.
Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, guys that can create their own, but they don't have what Josh Hart. Besides Josh Hart, who is night and day. But added Dante DiVincenzo to space the floor out a little bit. That spaces the floor out better. So Jalen Brunson can drive and kick. Julius Randle can do his thing because they got to guard Dante. You can't leave him open because we all know if you leave him open, he's gonna make it. So
Yeah, he shot 39.7 from three this past year, so right at
see
40%.
yeah, right at 40%. So
Brett Lopez, 2 years 48, overpaid or right, overpaid, underpaid, or right at the mark.
uh, right at the mark. I mean,
Right at the mark.
to be honest with you, Brooklyn they need a bring back everybody. They brought back Chris Middleton at a cheaper than 40 million. They bring back Brook Lopez. They still got Bobby Portis. They're still a big team. So right at where he needs to be. As a Lakers fan, I wish we could have got him. But for him to get 20-some mil for the next 2 years, I know we were talking about giving him our mid-level exception, which is like 12 million. But they right at where he needs to be. 20 mil. Hey, that's good for him.
Chris Middleton, 3 years, 102 million, 34 million a year, overpaid, underpaid, or right at the mark.
I feel like he's a little overpaid.
Really, I think he's a little overrated in my eyes.
Yeah, I think he's overpaid.
I would have gave him around the means of 3 years, 60.
Yeah, I would have gave him. Yeah,
About 20 million a year. I don't think he's worth
exactly
34
20
million
to
because his
25
availability is not
million. Yeah.
enough.
So
He's
I
up
think
there.
he's overpaid. Yeah, he's not what he used to be.
No.
In that finals run, when he had an injury last season, it looked like he gained some weight in the
Oh
final
yeah.
phase. So he's not what he used to be. So I mean, hopefully he gets his off season to get in better shape and do what he got to do. But right now, I feel like he's overpaid. They kind of overpaid him, in my opinion.
I agree with you 100%. Bruce Brown, 2 years, 45 with the Pacers.
Yeah,
Overpaid, underpaid, or right the mark?
I feel like he's overpaid because, in my opinion, he's not a starter in the league. He comes in and he gives you those quality minutes off the bench, those must-need minutes you need off the bench. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can do anything. He can come off the bench and do anything you need him to do. He can be a ball handler like we saw in the finals when Jamal Murray went out or Jokic went out when they got in foul trouble. He can come off the bench and be a ball handler. He can come off the bench and give you those hustle plays, fight for rebounds, fight for loose balls. Hell, he literally got the game sealing bucket to beat Miami, in Game 5.
Right.
So, but in my opinion, I feel like he's overpaid, and I feel like Indiana know they overpaid him because that second year is a player option. Oh no, it's a team option. I'm sorry, the second year is a team option. So it's literally a 1-year deal worth $22 million a year. To see, if they do anything this year, then they probably pick up that team option. But to me, it's just a 1-year little deal because I don't think they need the Pacers. They still need a lot. Yeah, in my opinion, they need to trade Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. But
next person we're going to talk about D'Lo, a surprise signing with the Lakers, 2 years, 37. Overpaid or underpaid?
2 years, 37. I feel like
18 and a half per year.
He's right where he needs to be because he had a horrible playoff performance in the Western Conference Finals for us. So, I mean, up until then, he was good, He showed glimpses of being the third best player on the Lakers team when we needed him, when we traded for him. But I feel like he's right where he needs to be. He thought he was getting more than 18 mil. He thought he was going to get like 20, 30 mil, which wasn't going to happen.
Not at all.
But I know it was reported that him and Gabe Vincent are going to start for they're going to compete for the starting point guard role. So it's not like he's going to be the starter just because he's making more money than Gabe Vincent. So I feel like he's right where he needs to be. Prove himself these next 2 years. See what I'm saying. See if he can be that guy.
Let's see who else. Let's see. There's a lot of people on this list that we could go over. We're gonna make it a 2-part series. Dude. I think there's a lot of people we still got to go over. I think we're definitely gonna do a 2-part series. I was thinking maybe next week we could go over part 2 because we still got a whole week of free agency, especially with the Dame Dollar situation. We're gonna talk about that now. Of course, everybody knows Damian Lillard requested a trade with the Portland Trailblazers yesterday, and he prefers the Miami Heat. Now, according to Dame, a statement he said he'd rather have Jimmy, Bam, and Caleb Martin there. Now, today, Tyler Hero disconnected himself with the Miami Heat, saying he's not a Miami Heat guard no more, according to his Twitter profile, his Instagram handler. Right now, the GM of Portland stated they're going to do business with all teams because apparently they're not trying to cooperate with Miami trying to offer. So my thinking is there a deal going to happen with Dame going to Miami, or do you think he's going somewhere else?
No. I mean, if you look at history, most of the time, the player always gets traded to the team he says he wants to go to. I just feel like they might have to get like a third and fourth team involved, right? Because
usually a 14 trade.
Yeah, a 3 or 4 team trade because Portland doesn't want Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson. They have no use for them.
Right.
And they also want to get rid of Nurkic's contract as well. And it's
so there's a lot of loading over there.
They got. It might take some time, but excuse me, it's gonna get done. It's just a matter of time and
right.
Who's gonna get what. Portland already said they wanted some good young stars and draft capital. And when I first saw the trade request, I thought to myself, I can name 3 or 4 teams that have better assets than Miami. So my whole thought process was, well, they probably gonna have to get a third and a fourth team involved just because they don't have the capital. If Portland wanted Tyler Hero, they would have made the trade a long time ago.
They made a trade last week.
Yeah, exactly. They would have made the trade last week instead of waiting on Dame to request that trade. They would have just went ahead and traded him and got Tyler Hero. But they didn't want Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson. They probably wanted Bam, but knowing damn well they weren't going to get him. So they probably got to bring a third or a fourth team involved to make everything work so they can get the draft capital and the assets that they want. So it may take some time, we probably will hear something later this week, but it's not going to be, a day or two thing where it's not going to be a 2-team trade in my opinion.
It's not going to happen. I think at this point, He originally offered Kyle Lowry, and the Trailblazers did not want Kyle Lowry. That's the switch.
Kyle Lowry.
No one wants Kyle Lowry. So what the Heat said last week, they're going to eventually waive Kyle Lowry. And I think what you said about
they're going to stretch his contract.
Stretch his contract out.
$4 or $5 million for the next couple of years until the $35 million is gone.
Right. So I think with the Heat now, that Victor Oladipo's now OKC, Max Strus is gone, Gabe Vincent to LA. And all these people, I'm really impressed with Thomas Bryant signing 2 years. I think $6 million, $7 million, something like that. We got Kevin Love for 2 years, 5.5. We got 2 years, 7.6 for Kevin Love. So we got two bigs back. And despite losing Strus and Gabe Vincent, I'm glad Strus is gone. I really want to get Vincent back if I had a choice. But I mean, Max Strus definitely got overpaid. We'll see how good he is now on another team. Gabe Vincent's gonna do wonders for y'all because he showed he could be a starting point guard in this league. Victor Oladipo, I think we just got rid of him to create some cap space for the Dame trade. We knew we were gonna keep Oladipo. We were gonna eventually trade Oladipo anyways. We didn't see him in our team because this is the second straight year he ended his season with a season-ending injury. 2 of the last 3 years.
I feel like this may be his last year in the league.
This might be his last year, especially OKC. I don't think OKC gonna keep him. I think they're gonna probably buy him out.
Me too.
Because they got something good going on OKC, and they don't need something that's gonna hold them back. There was one win away from making the playoffs for the first time since the Russ era. So OKC's in good hands. Giddey, Trey Mann, SGA, who had an All NBA year. Lou Dort.
He got Chet.
And he still got Chet coming back. So OKC is on the up and up. Just like Houston, they're on the up and up. So there's a lot of good basketball going to happen this summer. Damn, we're going to definitely make this issue. It's going to be an interesting free agency series. So we're going to do part 2 next Sunday. Or do you want to do it? Or do you want to do it Monday?
Monday I work. I'm busy, so we can do it next Sunday.
Let's do next Sunday. Next Sunday we'll do part 2, and then we'll recap the whole free. Hopefully, the Dame Dollar situation will be come to an end where we'll see Dame either in a Heat uniform or somewhere else. But hopefully by this time next week we will see a Damian Lillard trade of some sort. And I think Neil, you are right. I think a 3 or 4 team trade will be done. I think Tyler Hill's going to one team. I think Robert's going to get to another team. I think they're going to separate. They're not going to go to the same team.
Now let me ask you this about the Heat. Since you're a Heat fan, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Do you guys what do you think about depth, right? Because in my opinion, you trade for Dame, and your big 3 is Jimmy, Bam, and Dame.
Right, of course.
You got Caleb Martin. Now, in my opinion, Thomas Bryant's a good offensive player. He's not when he played for the Lakers, he really didn't play good defense. But we'll see. You bring back Kevin Love, who has championship experience on that.
Right.
So it's like, and you still got Kyle Lowry if you don't cut him.
If we don't cut him, yeah.
As far as depth, what are y'all going to do about depth? Because we know in the playoffs, or even in the regular season, when you're trying to find that 7th and 8th guy off the bench that you can, when come playoff time, that you can come in and be good, like Denver Nuggets did with the Brown kid, the rookie, and Bruce Brown for that factor. Guys that can come in and give you minutes, and guys that you don't expect, like I said, like your 7th and 8th guys off the bench. What are you guys going to do with that? Because you lost Gabe Strus, you lost Strus and Vincent.
Right.
And it's like, you guys, I will give you this. You are good at finding those undrafted talent and getting them paid.
Yep.
I'm gonna answer that question. I'm gonna end off with this because I gotta wrap it up and get ready for next service. I agree with you. We did lose a lot of depth at the guard position. Granted, no problem with that. One thing you definitely hit on, Pat Riley is known for finding diamonds in the rough when it comes with the free agency, the undraft lottery, a summer league. He finds somebody like he did with Omar Yurtseven, the center. He did with Gabe Vincent, Strus, and Duncan. He's gonna find something. Kyle Lowry, we'll probably, if we don't cut him, we're gonna eventually keep him because we're not gonna find nobody to get rid of him. Cody Zeller left us, so we did lose a big, which I think Thomas Bryant's an upgrade for Cody Zeller anyways. Cody Zeller's like a high-end motor player. He's going to need energy. So with the bigs, we have Bam, Kevin Love, and Thomas Bryant. Right. Three good quality players. I mean, Bam's gonna play the 4 this year for the first time in his career, which thank God he ain't playing the 5 no more. Thomas Bryant's gonna be a starting 5, because Thomas Bryant is 6'11", I believe. Yeah, I think 6'11". He's 6'11". He shot 44% from 3 last year. So Thomas Bryant do got a little stroke. I like his jump shot, I like his game. We're gonna need him to be more of a rim protector for us. He has to do better job of rim protecting. For his career average, look at his career so far. He's only a 6 rebound per game type of guy. When you gonna need a double every night for you, buddy? So I mean, I'll take a 15-9 for him this year. Because I mean, it's a lot more than what he was doing prior with Washington and LA and the Nuggets.
Right.
If you give me 15-9, 17-10, I'll take that from you. Because that'll give Bam the room to do what he want to do when he's at 4. At depth, we have Kevin Love go off the bench. Caleb Martin's going to come off the bench because it's going to have to be Dame, Jimmy. Caleb Martin have to start then. Caleb Martin with the 3, then Bam, and then Thomas Bryant. There's 5. I think I said 5. Yeah, it's 5. Then what the 5? Some kind of bench production. So Kyle Lowry's going to be on the bench. Kevin Love's going to come off the bench. And that's it. We're 7 deep right now. So we're going to find some more pieces in free agency. With Gabe Vincent gone, with Oladipo traded, with Max Strus gone. Tyler Hero's questionable. Duncan might be gone. Tyler Hero's going to be gone. So we're going to lose 2 key valuable pieces, whether it's a starter or a bench guy. We're going to have to really fill in the void. We're going to find there's some good free agency guys left that could fit in the Heat mold. We just got to go out there and find them. I'm confident in Pat Riley with his experience and finding pieces to help the team fluctuate. Once we get this Dame situation taken care of, wherever he's going, whether he's coming to us or not, we need to go find some depth for our bench. Whether it's Dame coming or not, we need to find some more guys to fill in the void for what happened to Gabe, Max, and Victor. I think Victor leaving definitely sets up the stage for the Dame trade. Literally after Victor got traded, Dame asked for a trade. So we'll see how that goes. I will keep an eye on everything Heat related on Twitter between now and Sunday, because I'm going to have a lot to talk about once this trade does happen. And we're going to pick back up. We talk about when it comes to depth issues, because we're definitely going to need to find a backup point guard if Kyle Lowry does get cut. We're going to have to find a backup shooting guard. We're going to find some kind of backup guards. Because now we got bigs now with Thomas Bryant, Kevin Love coming back. We need 5 guards.
Right.
And we're losing a lot of guards come off the board. Derrick Rose got signed. Russ got signed. Seth Curry got signed. Shake Milton got signed. We did get Josh Richardson, which is a huge help. I mean, he's not the same Josh Richardson was 8 years ago, but he can bring something off the bench.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
So, I mean, with Josh Richardson now on the team, could be a good wing, 2-3D wing. He'll definitely take a lot of pressure off of what Jimmy or Dane has to do, because Josh going to play the 2 or 3. We all know that. Josh could still shoot a little bit. He's not the same Josh Richardson was 8 years ago when he first got in the league, but he still could bring something to the table. We're still gonna find some more depth. The guard position, another big will help. I mean, right now. Let's look at the free agency bigs right now. I have a couple of minutes. Let's go to positional. Let's go to all positions. We're gonna go to center. I really want to look at the center position. If you look right now, who's all available at free agency for the center position? So you see, Dwight Howard is still available. I could pick up a Dwight. Who else? Who else available? Mo Bamba, who just got cut by y'all. We could pick him up. I mean, there's plenty.
Yeah, he's a good pickup.
Christian Wood is still out there. Christian Wood, Taj Gibson, Montrezl Harrell. Let's see. Willie Cauley-Stein. There's some quality centers still out there. And then we're going to look at the guard position. Let's say shooting guard. Let's go look at shooting guard. And we're looking at just shooting guards now that's available now. Let's see. The top shooting guard left for free agency available. You still got Malik Beasley. You still got Will Barton. You still got Matisse Thybulle. Who else you got? Really nobody relevant. That's pretty much it. And then you look at the point guard position. So I mean, you still got a Malik Beasley. I mean, he didn't have a good run with y'all in the playoffs, but he was still solid enough in the regular season to give you some kind of value. He's still a shooter, and Pat Riley loves shooters.
We love shooters.
You look at point guards, with Kendrick Nunn's available, Corey Joseph available, George Hill, who has championship experience.
Mm-hmm.
I would love a George Hill. I'll take a Goran Dragic back in Miami. DJ Augustine, Scottie Pippen Jr., Matt McClung. There's some good quality point guards left out there. Matthew Dellavedova, Ish Smith. So those are guys out there that we could go out there and get for like mid-level exceptional or cheaper. Let's go look at the small forward position. Cause I see a couple, like at least six, 7 guys Pat Riley will probably consider looking at to make a move. At least 7 guys I can see there. You like a small forward. You got Kelly Oubre, Torrey Craig, T.J. Ward, Kevin Knox, Danny Green, Terrence Ross.
Terrence Ross is a really good option.
Walter Scott Anderson. I would love out of that whole list. Maybe a Kelly Oubre or Terrence Ross would be a guy I'll pick up in the small forward position in free agency. If the Suns don't re-sign, I'll be real dumb of them not to do that. And then once again, look at the power forward position. That's the last position I'm gonna look at. You still got Justice Winslow, PJ Washington, which is a shocker. He's not signed yet. Iggy isn't signed yet. Grant Williams is a free agent.
About picking him up.
Right, Grant Williams, PJ Washington, Markieff Morris, Iggy, JaMychal Green, Trinity Watford, James Johnson, Isaiah Mobley. Isaiah Mobley, he needs a chance. That's all he needs. He needs an opportunity.
Yeah, he really does.
I mean, if he gets an opportunity, he could probably turn around. He might be as good as his brother, but he'll definitely have a chance. Mm-hmm. And Pat Riley's known for giving players chances, especially undrafted guys. So I would love, if I had a wish list of players I want to see signed by Pat Riley, PJ Washington's top on my list. Washington.
Top on mine too. Stop.
PJ Washington, Terrence Ross, Kelly Oubre, maybe Justice Winslow coming back. Those guys. So, like we always say, Dale, we gotta wait and see what happens. But I appreciate you tuning into the podcast, Dale. I know it's been longer than I wanted to be, but we'll definitely touch base on this again on next Sunday. Tune in here every Sunday at 4:30 here on the channel. I'm gonna try to do every Sunday. I know we're kind of busy on our Sundays, but every Sunday is going to be our Marshall Point 4:30 here on the channel. My co-host Dale, I appreciate you coming into the video. Like, subscribe, new for more videos. Episode 3 is a success. I appreciate Dale coming on in, and we out, guys. Have a blessed and wonderful Sunday night.
All right, you have a good one, man.
All right, now.